It looks really bad. And unfortunately, it looks like it's going to get a lot worse. And 2023 is right around the corner. So what I want to do is I want to take an objective look at the markets. I'll be focusing on cryptocurrency, but in order to understand what is happening with the crypto markets, we have to look at the markets as a whole. Now, there's a lot of different opinions out there right now when it comes to when is Bitcoin going to enter the next bull market? Is there even going to be another bull market? And so I want to take a look at some charts. I want to take a look at some indicators, gather all the information, and then we can all come to our own conclusions. Now, this is the Bitcoin chart on the monthly time frame right now. And something that many of us are familiar with are these 4-year market cycles. Okay, these 4-year market cycles, which is basically based on the Bitcoin algorithm. Every few years, about every 4 years, there's something called the halving. And what that is, the amount of Bitcoin that is released into circulation per block gets cut in half, and this typically leads to a bull market. We can see in the past here that on November 28, 2012, we had the Bitcoin halving, and we actually rallied up into the halving, and then once that happened, we entered the bull market and had a very large move to the upside. In fact, this was a massive, almost 10,000% move to the upside during that bull market. And then we had another one here in July 2016, which led to the 2017 bull market. And then, of course, we had one in May of 2020, which led to this bull market. Now we have another halving estimated to take place, because we don't know exactly when it will be happening. It depends on how many transactions occur on the Bitcoin network, but it's estimated to happen around March or April 2024. And a lot of people are saying, well, this is going to be the event that triggers the next bull market. Now, I'm going to get back to this chart. I'm going to let you guys know what I am thinking here. But we have to take a look at what's happening in the traditional markets, because we have never had a Bitcoin cycle in the midst of a recession before. Okay, we can take a look right here at the S&P 500. This is the yearly chart. This is the 2022 candle right here. Okay, we have this very big red candle. Of course, on my chart, it's a purple candle. And this is a very bearish candle. We have not had a candle like this since 2008. Okay, now I'm going to be looking at some other charts because based on some other indicators, it seems that this market has not bottomed out yet. Okay, it has not bottomed out yet. When we take a look at the history of Bitcoin, okay, going all the way back to 2010, we have never had a candle looking this bearish since Bitcoin was created. So we are in some uncharted territories. When we take a look at the NASDAQ, okay, we have not had a candle like the one we just had in 2022, again, since 2008. And this looks very, very similar to the dot-com bubble burst back in the early 2000s, the late 90s, where we had a massive run-up, and then we had a very bearish candle followed by 2 more years of downside. And back then, in 2000, that first year gave us a 37% move to the downside, and so far, we have had a 36% move to the downside. So it seems as if, potentially, this pattern is repeating itself. And just looking at the technicals on some of these charts, we can also see that things are not looking very bullish at all. We go to the daily time frame. Actually, let's go to the weekly time frame on the S&P 500. And let's just take a look at this right here. Okay, let's take a look at this chart. We can see that we are rejecting off of some very key resistances on the S&P 500. Okay, we are unable to come back inside of this large range from basically the pandemic. And this is looking pretty bearish. Money flow is coming down here on the oscillator. We've got money flow coming down, curving into the purple. There's definitely more room for downside. Again, when we take a look at the NASDAQ, take a look at the 200-day moving average. If we go to the weekly time frame, I'm sorry, this is the 100-week moving average, I'm sorry, but we can see that this has been acting as very strong support the entire way up, and now we are actually flipping this very important area of support into resistance. Now, something else that makes it very possible that we have not bottomed out yet is The 10-year 3-month Treasury yield spread, okay? What is the 10-year 3-month Treasury yield spread? It is a predictor of United States recessions. And the yield curve, specifically the spread between interest rates on the 10-year Treasury note and the 3-month Treasury bill, is a valuable forecasting tool. It's simple to use. Make myself a little bit smaller here. It's simple to use and significantly outperforms other financial and macroeconomic indicators predicting recessions 2 to 6 quarters ahead. Now, when we take a look at the actual chart here, okay, let's zoom out so that we can really kind of see this. Something that's very interesting about this chart is that when we see this thing become inverted and it crosses below the 0 line, let me move myself out of the way, we can see that that is not the bottom of the market. In 2008, all right, the 2008-2009 recession, we bottomed out on the 10-year 3-month curve in 2006. Okay, we bottomed out in 2006. You might even say the beginning of 2007. The market did not bottom out until the end of 2009. Okay, so we're talking when this thing bottoms out, we still have a long ways to go until the market itself bottoms out. When we go back to the when we go to our present day right now, we can see that we are currently underneath this 0 line. But when we go and take a look, for example, at what happened in 2008, right? 2008 happened right over here. Now remember, that thing bottomed out in 2006, but we still had, from the time that bottomed out in around 2006 or 2007, we still had almost another year and a half until the market itself bottomed out. And so if this is any indicator of what is to come in the future, we might have another year and a half before we eventually bottom out here. Okay, so we're talking September 2024. We might not see the bottom of these markets until 2024. Okay, so this is very important, because if the market is going to continue down and if we are going to head deeper and deeper into a recession, then we can't expect Bitcoin to then start to pump like crazy. Now, something else we have to consider when it comes to whether or not Bitcoin is going to enter into another bull run is there big institutional money that is ready to go all in right now on crypto? And in my opinion, the answer is absolutely not. There is nobody looking to invest in cryptocurrency right now. And unfortunately, I think because of everything that happened over the past year with Terra Luna and Celsius and FTX looking like to be one of the biggest Ponzi schemes ever, FTX, people are really hesitant. And when I say people, I mean institutions are very hesitant to invest in crypto until there is more regulation. Okay? Take a look at this article from the Economic Times here. It says crypto is effectively non-existent for big institutions. JP Morgan's Gross says money managers who have avoided the many ups and downs of cryptocurrency may be feeling relieved for having done so, according to a senior investment strategist at JP Morgan. Guys, when we saw this last bull run in 2020, 2021, there was a lot of money that was being created. In fact, 50% of all dollars ever were created in the past 2 years, and a lot of that money went into crypto. Now that we've had these scandals happen in the cryptocurrency space, all that money is now out of crypto, and nobody is in a rush to put that money back into cryptocurrency. Okay? So I want to come back to the Bitcoin chart, and I want to take a look at a few things to determine when and if the next Bitcoin bull run is going to happen. And I also want to talk about how I am approaching these markets as a trader and also as an investor. Now, we do have this halving coming up in the beginning of 2024, and we know that just based on this chart over here, when we bottom out and start to move up, the market doesn't typically bottom out, okay? The official recession is not determined until this has already come up a little bit, right? So these gray periods are showing us official period of recession. We can see this always happens after we bottom out on this chart, and the market itself bottoms out as this chart begins to come back up. And so if what's happening now is anything similar to what happened back in 2008, 2009 recession, we have a year and a half to go before the actual markets bottom out. If we take a look at the Bitcoin chart and we just kind of draw until the halving, we can see that we have about a year and a half until that Bitcoin halving happens. And so what this means is it actually makes it very possible that the halving will line up with a macro market bottom, which could actually put us in a very good situation to get another move to the upside to that $100,000 level Bitcoin. But of course, people are looking for a V-shaped recovery or a bounce or the bear market bottom to come in and then immediately rally. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the bottom is yet to be put in. And I think that once we do put in the bottom, we're probably going to range a little bit. And until the macroeconomic situation is in a place where money is actually willing and able to go into crypto, we're not going to see the rallies that we have seen leading up to the halving that we saw in previous cycles. Because again, the markets as a whole are in a totally different situation than they were for the past 10 years when it comes to these Bitcoin market cycles. Okay, so something else I do want to point out is the fact that for every single macro Bitcoin bottom, it has bottomed out in between the 786 and the 886 Fibonacci levels. Now we can see right here that we are currently coming in right now and flirting with that 786, 886 Fibonacci level. This is very significant because unless we start to lose, in my opinion, $9,000, which we very well may, okay, we're just looking at historical data here, there's a very good chance that we do bottom out in between the 16,000 and that $9,000 region, find our bottom, and then hopefully if the market itself does find a macro bottom around the time of the Bitcoin halving, this could act as a catalyst for the next bull market. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm looking at, timing things based on the Bitcoin cycle and just market cycles in general, as we can see that potentially we are heading in deeper into a recession and the markets have not bottomed out yet, and there is much more room for downside, and these charts are looking very, very bearish. So here is how I'm approaching this, okay, as an investor, as a trader. Personally, I do remain bullish on Bitcoin. Personally, I am looking at Bitcoin as an asset that I can use to make profit. And so my plan right now for Bitcoin is this. Because I am expecting another move to the upside eventually within the next few years, I'm using this opportunity to accumulate Bitcoin at cheap prices. And the way I'm going about doing that is basically using the previous bear market bottom as the lowest area that I will be looking to accumulate. And I'm looking at an investment kind of strategy, something like this, where I am targeting that $100,000 zone for my take profits. And I am going to be accumulating as we continue down here. And wherever we bottom out, I will be loading up on my Bitcoin. And why am I doing this? It's very important that everybody understands that regardless of what kind of investment you are looking to make, you have a plan, you understand your risk, and you're not investing more than you are willing to lose. The reason I'm doing this now is because when it comes to any investment, buying low and selling high is the way to go. And objectively speaking, if we are buying Bitcoin at this price and under, we are buying low. And if we are targeting now from these lows, on average, a 1,000% move to the upside, potentially, this is a very good gain. In fact, this is potentially going to be able to make 7 times more reward than what we are going to risk if this is your macro swing trade setup. This is my plan for Bitcoin. Okay, this is my plan for Bitcoin. I'm staying one step ahead of the markets, understanding the fact that this may not happen, but it's a calculated risk, a risk I am willing to take because of the potential reward. Okay, so this is one of the things I am doing in this bear market. The second thing, guys, is I am trading, okay? We can make money when the markets are going up. We can make money when the markets are going down. This is a short trade that I'm currently in right now. I've made over $10,000. I mean, technically right now, I've made $12,000 of profit shorting Bitcoin. Even in bear markets, there is opportunity to make money longing and shorting. Okay, this trade setup was given in advance over in my VIP Discord group. Gave the setup in advance. You can long and short in bear markets, okay? This is a Matic trade setup, a Polygon trade setup that we also did give in advance in last week's VIP live stream. And so in the bear market, when we are looking at our long-term plays, we can accumulate by short-term trading. We could trade crypto, we could trade stocks, we could trade Forex, okay? Now, this is a huge part of my strategy during this bear market, okay? Now, if you want to learn how to trade this way, you could check out the course at jasoncaspertrading.com. We currently have a 30% discount on 2 of our trading courses. This will give you the knowledge and the skills you need to become a confident, profitable trader. This works with stocks, crypto, Forex. Also, if you do want to join the community, you can go to patreon.com/JasonCasper. This is where we give our trade plans every single day. But also, guys, make sure to join my free Discord community because it's free. And also, I will be posting a lot of technical analysis in there. Okay, guys, so whatever the case, we need to get ready for more downside. We need to be prepared for whatever will happen. And most of all, we have to have a plan, right? I know people who have lost money buying crypto at the top, holding it all the way to the bottom and selling. I know people who have bought at the bottom, held all the way to the top, held all the way to the bottom, gave back all their gains. Now is the time, when the markets are bad, this is the time to be thinking about and strategizing so that we can actually profit in the next bull market. Is there going to be another bull market? Of course, the markets are going to turn around, guys. That's just the way markets work. What goes up must go down. What comes down must go up. There is always opportunity out there. And when things are really bad and people are getting wrecked, it is the time to come, look at the charts, come up with a macro plan so that within the next 4, 5, 10 years, you can make a good amount of profit in these markets. In my opinion, the bear market is the time to do that. Guys, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Jason_Casper for a chance to win $1,000. I'm giving it away on New Year's Day. That is it for today's video, guys. May you all be blessed in the name of Jesus the Messiah. I know not everybody is religious. That is okay. I do pray that everybody watching and listening to this video is very blessed in many ways. Make sure to like the video, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And I will see everybody in the next video. Peace.